right, so advanced salsa. Before we begin, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you don't miss any videos that come out. I try to post one every week, and so far have been successful. So let's do some advanced salsa. We're gonna just talk about a lot of pro tips here on this level. Seems how this is a nightclub dance. There is a lot of personal styling and things that you can do that, you know, it's not right or wrong for a nightclub dance. I'm going to give you all the tips in my bag to help you do as many creative and stylistic things as you can in your dancing. So the first thing I would like to talk about is really basic, and it's a really easy fix if you aren't already doing it, and that is eye contact. When we're dancing salsa, we want to make sure that we're checking in with our partner. It's so easily to start looking down, paying attention to what our feet are doing. But what you want to make sure that you do is actually keep your head level, okay? Because the second you move down, your center of gravity changes, and that really changes the partnership, okay? So keep your eyes up is number one. The second thing we want to make sure that we're doing, both as a lead and as a follow, is having the correct amount of tension in our arms. So, for example, if I am trying to lead my partner in a lot of spins and hammer locks and special loops and face loops and all those things, it's going to be hard to do if she or he is super stiff in their arms and their muscles, right? So I have this thing that I tell my students. We have two types of arms. We have noodle arms, right? And then we have activated arms. So I tell them, think about your body cut in half, right around like your rib cage, maybe like, 2 inches above your belly button, okay? And if you find your arms being lifted or you're leading and you're above that line, that plane, they need to be noodle arms, okay? They need to be relaxed so that there's no fighting with your partner. Now, if they're down here, they need to be engaged or activated, active arms, okay? So that's when they're still connected to your base and part is your frame, because in order to lead and follow and communicate down here, we're gonna need that connection, okay? So 2 types of arms, noodle arms up here and active arms down here, okay? We talked about spotting a little bit last week in the intermediate level, but it is another big bonus tip to help you in your salsa. 1, so that you can be nice and fast, but 2, so that you can try not to be dizzy, and 3, so that it looks good. When you're spotting, it just gives it this look that's like icing on the cake, right? When you look at a cake, and if there's no icing on it, a lot of us would say that's an unfinished cake, right? So to have the head spotting is actually part of the dance. It keeps the head dancing and it gives you that full picture of salsa. All right, let's see what else. Next, why don't we talk about the hip action that's happening in salsa? Some of you dancers already know Cuban motion. And if you're thinking salsa has Cuban motion in it, I want to correct you in that it doesn't. Cuban motion is a very specific style of hip action applied to the American rhythm dances like rumba, mambo, cha-cha. Okay, but Cuban motion does not apply to salsa, okay? Salsa has what we call a natural hip action, okay? Meaning it's gonna look different on everybody, but that's why it's so fun and so easily dance in the nightclub and so freeing, right? It's more of a freeing dance. So I had one coach actually explain it to me. I'm a visual person and it really helps, so I'm gonna share it with you guys. If you know mambo and rumba, you can kind of label them and think of them as like a muscle dance, right? We're really using our muscles to work our Cuban motion, okay? But if you think about salsa, it's more of a bones dance. So instead of like muscling through steps, we're really just taking our skeleton and placing it, the weight of our bones, over our steps and allowing the bones to just kind of move with those placements instead of moving them with my muscles. See the difference? Bones, muscles. Yeah, so if you can think of it that way, that might help loosen you up a little bit, which will help everything in your salsa. But also you can just think about it. So if you're standing split weight, okay, and then if you go ahead and just imagine there's like a counter or a railing, maybe you're at Cedar Point waiting in line, and just kind of rest on that counter a second, right? For most of us, what's going to happen is the hip's going to just kind of displace a little bit out to the side, okay? You can try that on the other side. So you just take your split weight and kind of come over here and lean into this imaginary wall or bar or something, okay? And if you see, that gives me a little bit of hip action over here on the side. So that when we do in our salsa, it really is just the settling or the putting the weight fully over those legs, okay? Now that being said, you don't want to lose from here up your poise and your projection, because that is how you're communicating with your partner, right? So you don't want to be just like bones on top, plus it doesn't look good, right? So you just want to keep this nice on top, but bonesy on top. Yeah, I had another coach that would say business on top, party on the bottom, okay? So I hope these tips really help you with your advanced salsa. If you have any other questions, or maybe you're having a challenge with some part of your salsa, whether it's swivels or spins or checks, any of those things, let me know and I would love to make a video for you. All right? I hope you guys are all having fun on your dance journey. I will see you probably in a couple weeks. I think I am going to take next week off, but then I'll see you in the new year, and I haven't decided what we're going to do yet. So tune into the postings and put your vote in, and we'll get some videos out there. Thanks, guys.